Welcome to the John Malone Show, and welcome to Hot Take Fridays. Today, I'd like to talk about Russell Brand, and specifically, I'd like to ask, what happened to Russell Brand? Now, I really started enjoying Russell Brand a few years ago when I saw him on the Joe Rogan show. It was one of these 3-hour interviews, and he was more of like a yogi then. He was talking about peace and veganism, his struggle and his rebound through drug addiction and alcohol abuse, and the trappings of fame, right, from his movies and other stuff. And I just really liked that interview. He seemed very peaceful and was talking about his journey through a 12-step program and finding himself. And Joe had even picked on him about his the length of his hair and his beard. And he says, I've gone past Jesus, as far as the look, and past Moses, and he said, and lesser prophets. But they were having a great conversation. Like I said, this is 2 years ago. And Joe was talking about his love of bow hunting, and they were trying to find common ground, right? Because here now you have a vegan and a meat eater. And Russell was talking about how we don't have to necessarily get along with everything to have a conversation, right? We don't have to be so adversarial in everything. And I liked this, right? Because now you've got two diametrically opposed people coming together over a few things. And it was a great interview. And so that's what I miss. I miss that part of Russell Brand. I miss that part of Joe Rogan. These very insightful, thought-provoking. You get to see a different side of person, their more personal life that we don't necessarily get to see with all of our celebrities, behind the scenes. But something's happened, and something has really dramatically changed with Russell. I now watch his podcast, and it's I hate saying this word over and over again, hyperbolic, but this is what it seems like everything is turned into now. On all these podcasts, everybody's turned completely over to hyperbole, dramatization. And if it's for clicks, if that's what their viewers want, I guess that's fine. I just would think that your audience followed you for this, right? I started following Russell because he was having people on his own show that thought more like him. And I know Russell would say that he also likes to see other, views and get other opinions. And I get that too. I want to do that. I don't know that I'm going to have people on my show that are complete polar opposites of me. I don't know what the point of that would be. I don't want, to get into like mass hysteria debates or anything like that. That's not the basis of my show. Anyway, I think you get my point, right? You follow a band because you like their music. But if they go from playing, classic rock to now playing disco music, I think you'd probably be a little unnerved and wonder what happened to your band. This isn't like acting, right? Actors play different roles. We expect that out of them. We want to see the dark side, the comedic side, the funny side. But with Russell, I felt like this was his thing. In fact, even in his interview with Joe was saying how authentic he was, in this new Russell Brand, this I found inner peace, this kind of yogi guru kind of thing. And you could even see that in Russell. I mean, I kind of saw that in Russell even when he was making his movies, in the early 2000s. I could kind of see that in him. That if he'd found the way that he could get to where, he'd get to that place in his life. So he'd found this inner peace, and he was talking about love and just how can we all coexist and things like that. Now on his YouTube channel, and you can find it, just Google or go on YouTube and look for Russell Brand. And it's just the most outrageous Alex Jones kind of stuff. The Illuminati and, Hillary Clinton taking showers in baby's blood and, and Jeffrey Epstein's island and all this stuff. And it's like, what's happened? What have you done? I miss the old peaceful, calm, like during the pandemic, he was showing where he and his wife were at like oh gosh, what's the word? They were passing out food to people. It was I don't know. I can't think of this word. Sorry. Um, I don't want to say food shelter. Anyway, so they were at this place where they were, getting all this food together for people that needed it, and they were driving it around and distributing it to people. And it was just very calm and peaceful, and I liked that, right? Um, but now he's gone into this just over the top, like ranting into the camera, and just full of outrage and disdain, and I almost see this would be something that maybe Dr. Drew would look at and say, this is somebody that's about to regress and maybe fall, start, going backwards on their path. He'd cleaned himself up, he'd found serenity and found peace in his life, and started hanging around Joe Rogan. And then you'd see on his show, he had people from that kind of Joe Rogan circle on his show, and then he'd be on their shows. And it's like, is this just a downward spiral? Is this like the Joe Rogan effect? Not the Joe Rogan experience, but the Joe Rogan effect. And again, I miss the old Joe. I want that Joe back. Where he was curious and wanted to know, what people's thoughts were. He had a variety of different actors and musicians and politicians on, and comedians. But now it's like it's the same old, revolving it's like what is it, the lazy Susan, of comedians or people that think like him. They've become like the My Pillow guy, for YouTube or Spotify. And it's frustrating because that's not what I started to follow. You presented yourself as this for so long, and now you've changed. And it's like they've created their own algorithm. It's almost like they all got together. You want to talk about conspiracies, right? These guys all have these conspiracy theories. Like my conspiracy is that they all got together at the new, Skin Crawler Ranch in Texas. That's what I call it, not Skinwalker, because it makes my skin crawl. The Joe Rogan Skin Crawler Ranch. And we're like, hey guys, let's all become the new Maury Povich. Okay, you be Jerry Springer, and you be, Morton Downey Jr., and I'll be this person, and we'll bring all that back from the mid 90s, and we'll flood, all the podcasts with outrage and drama, because even Ben Shapiro has like lost his mind. So you've got Dave Rubens, Ben Shapiro, Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, all these people that kind of had, a certain platform, and they've all completely changed. So Russell, I miss that you. If that's truly you, can you be that Russell again? That's what I miss. I imagine that's what most of your fans miss. I don't know. Let me know. Leave a comment down below. If you enjoy my show, please hit the subscribe button. And again, thank you for listening to the John Malone Show.